And for more on this, we are joined by Peter Mathews, Professor of Political Science at Cyprus College and author of the book Dollar Democracy. Thank you very much for joining us, Professor. Around 5 months until the 2020 election. What are your thoughts on the story that we just heard in terms of the different strategies that we are hearing from US President Donald Trump and Joe Biden?
It's like day and night, quite starkly different, isn't it? Biden is emphasizing stability, rationality, science-based treatment, and maybe even an executive order to force the wearing of masks. And Trump is basically looking at the situation saying that everything is fine. And it's very dangerous what's going on today. The election should be very interesting, to say one of the probably the most astounding significant election in our modern history. And I would say that if you look at the numbers, the polling numbers are very interesting. The 3 states which Trump won by less than 1% of the vote back in 2016 against Hillary Clinton, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, in every one of those states, Biden is ahead by over 10%, 10 points, 11 points in one and 10 points in the other 2. And so that's a significant advantage he has. But the voters who vote have to go out and turn out to vote on that day if Biden is to win. And there are a lot of variables involved. Of course, not helping that the economy is in such shambles because of how the handling of coronavirus was undertaken by this administration. That hurts them a lot too.
And Professor, the United States has just recorded more than 45,000 new COVID cases in 24 hours. This is a new all-time high, some of the worst affected areas being Arizona and Florida. In the lead up to big events such as the 4th of July, many celebrations are being cancelled or delayed. Do you think there needs to be more of this?
It's horrendous how the administration is neglecting the need to get strict about this. The need to have a national leadership on the wearing of masks, on social distancing, on testing, massive testing. All that has to be done because, like you said, 127,000 as of today. Yesterday was the highest that we've ever had. It's the largest number of people in the whole world. United States has 4% of the world population, and it has 25% of the world's infected people and 25% of the deaths in the world, which is just unbelievably high, and that has to be brought down. These states are going. In California, where I live, had 6,000 new infections just a couple of days ago. That's the highest of all the states in the union. So they opened up precipitously. Many states did. They're not taking it very.
Mask, I would think.
Professor, we are having a little trouble hearing you. I'm going to ask a question now and see if we can hear you again. But health officials, they're really saying that young people are increasingly becoming infected with coronavirus, and in some states, the median age of confirmed cases has actually dropped to the mid-30s. I mean, this is really sparking fears, isn't it, of complacency. Why is the message not clear enough for people, do you think?
Yeah, that's a very dangerous development because the young people, many of them are asymptomatic, although increasingly more of them are getting symptoms of it and going into hospitals. But the asymptomatic young people are spreading it to their fathers or mothers or grandparents and to each other, and they're going out and partying. And I think they just think they're so invulnerable. I just hope we can get through to them, the leadership of the country and each other, talk to our relatives, our children and young people that say this is a very serious, it's a pandemic. It has killed, just hundreds of thousands of people around the world and the United States. And so they have to take it very seriously, not just think they're invulnerable because they're young. And that has to be done. Of course, they're tending to want to go partying on spring break, Memorial Day, now July 4th coming up. All that has to be looked into perspective, and they have to get very serious about caring about other people around them. I think it'll happen if we have the leadership to encourage that.
And since the start of the pandemic, more than 45 million Americans filed for unemployment. It has been reported that 3 million jobs have been recovered in June. However, the rate of coronavirus infections, as we've just been mentioning, have never been higher. What sort of wage benefits are available to people in the US?
Not much. I mean, for one thing, there was a one-time stimulus, $1,200 a person, that came in a couple months ago. They haven't done a second one yet, but there was an increase in unemployment by about $600 a week on top of what you're getting already, and that helped. But that's in doubt now. The Republicans don't want to renew it at the end of this next month of July. They're saying it'll expire in July, and that would be a tragedy because people need to have money in their hands to go out and survive, to pay their rent, pay their mortgages, and go out and shop for food. And the economy will be even devastated even more unless the stimulus is brought in on a regular basis. We should have done what other countries have done before. Many of the countries in Europe, like Denmark, Sweden, actually not Sweden, Denmark, United Kingdom, and Germany, they all paid their people directly through the government. People are asked to stay home. We're given money directly, and that could be paid back later on once we're over the crisis. And that's what they've been doing, and they brought the numbers down because people stayed home. In America, many people went out and protested and wanted to go to work because they didn't have the money coming in, and small business didn't get their share either in America. That's going to be a real important thing to do, is to get that money flowing once again to the regular folks and small business especially.
Yeah, very well said. Well, we wish you all the best. Stay safe. And as always, thank you very much for your time and expertise. Peter Mathews, Professor of Political Science. Yeah, thank you. Political Science in Cyprus College and author of the book Dollar Democracy. Take care.
Thank you, too.